coming at you here live from Las Vegas on the podcast. And if I had the perfect cocktail, I would take a blender, put a little bit of a Saturday night in it, top it off with some mango, and make it iconic to drink down. And that's who our guest is going to be today. We're going to come back at you and surprise you. You like my improv? Get it? Improv, sketch, comedy. Let's
Chris
start the
Kattan.
Chris
Kattan.
We were waiting.
Yes, Kattan.
He's got a cuddly little bump, a sugar little squire. He's gonna do some magic and bring a little fire. Okay, maybe not the fire, but that magic's still legit. He's gonna have some guests who rock on a little bit. It's time to listen up to Piff Magic, Piff Magic, Piff Magic Dragon.
Oh, hello. Welcome to the Piff Pod with me, Piff the Magic Dragon, Jade Simone, and a small dog costume where Mr. Piffles should be.
Well, Mr. Piffles was sleeping so soundly and so cute. And I really wanted him here because Chris has got an amazing, cute little pup too. But
Yeah,
Piffles
we were like,
just,
one dog's enough. Chris,
Yeah, so we
Chris has got a
figured
dog.
Chris-
That's
yeah, that
enough.
was enough.
Piffles can have the show off. Hello, Chris. How are you?
I'm great. How are you guys doing?
Very good, thank you.
Amazing,
Thank you very much for joining us. We've met before for about 30 seconds, maybe.
Yeah, it was a little longer than that, I think.
Was
it
it?
like 4 minutes?
Yeah, maybe. You're right. You're right.
Probably.
Jade did her very nice thing that she does of befriending people. Jade always goes in first,
Yeah.
and she talks
Yeah.
to everyone because I can't deal with the mornings. I'm always grumpy and worried about whatever I'm going to do next. So Jade is like my one-woman publicist and goes out ahead of me to smooth the way.
Yeah, see, my man doesn't have a choice because with all these feathers, I pretty much take up the room anyway. But my favorite moment when we were getting ready to do that TV show is Chris is chilling. I mean, he's just relaxing on the couch.
He was in a little
He's
green
waiting.
room.
He was in
Yeah.
his little green room waiting and, getting ready to do his thing that he does so great on telly and, television. You can tell my man's English. I cut all my words. But his face when we walked in is something that I loved because I will never forget it because it was a little bit of what? And then the head tilted and then it came back and he's like, what the hell is going on right now?
Who are you more
and
excited
that
to
is what I'm
see?
so excited about.
Who are you more excited to see, Chris? The showgirl or the dragon?
I don't know. Well, excited. I guess the show girl.
Yeah, the show. Wow,
It's
there's
all right,
another
Chris.
one.
No, I think I think I was excited to see you, the dragon, because I recognize you.
Yes.
Oh, well, that's very good.
See,
Yeah.
it's not
Yeah.
always about me. You get your props sometimes.
Occasionally the dog gets recognized, and I get to live in his limelight. How
Yeah.
you been, Chris? What you been up to on the quarantine?
I've been staying at home mostly. Obviously, like most people, I've been inside with my girlfriend. I'm lucky to be with and have a girlfriend at this moment. It's supposed to be alone and binging on television and stuff. And I have my dog as well. My dog.
Your dog
Oh,
is
there
doing
he is.
his thing.
She is. Yeah,
Oh.
what's her
But you
name?
know, she's not a pup. Actually, she's very old. She's blind too. So,
Oh,
but she's about 14.
Oh
and,
my God.
Yeah, she could see light sometimes. She'll walk into things, and she has a good time. But
Chihuahua.
she's one of those dogs that she pretends she's not blind, but she is blind. So she'll be, like I said, she has a good time. She'll walk into things, and she doesn't know it's. She's like, oh, that's fine. I just walked into a window again.
well,
and
maybe she's
she'll wag
just
her tail.
she's just living a whole life of sketch comedy, just practicing every day on something
Yeah.
different.
Piffles does a thing where
Pretty
his
much.
back legs, like, as he gets older, his back legs sometimes, not often, but his back legs go. So he'll go around the corner and like his sort of back will go out like a car in one of those Fast and the Furious movies.
Like, you mean when they're stretching? When they stretch?
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking about? When dogs stretch? Yeah, that's always fun. I like it when dogs stretch. They're much more entertaining than people when they stretch. When we stretch, it's not as fun.
No.
Dog stretches are much more interesting.
Well, it also depends on how clothed you are and what position you're in.
Piffles,
Yeah, exactly.
they do this like weird like stretch where they swim along the floor for some reason.
Yes. Oh, you mean digging?
Yes.
No, they like stretch out and then they like shuffle
it's-
along like they're
Like on a SEAL team trying to get
like a SEAL team.
Yeah, like they're like doing.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
like they're training.
Yeah,
for
I like it when they
for
Yeah,
a rig.
I know what you're talking about. I also like it when they dig like on the floor when there's nothing to dig. There's nowhere to go, but they still dig for no reason. Or they go. I also like when they go out and pee, and then they 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 want to hide it, or they dig something to hide it, but it's in a different location. It's not even close to where they urinated.
Oh yeah, they
So
do that.
it's like
They do that
the
little
food
kicking up
surface.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah, our
Yeah,
second
they do the
dog.
picking up thing, but it's not. It's not even close to where they peed, so it doesn't make any sense. It's
Yeah,
like I
Piffles, he
pee
pees
here,
in, right, he
and then I
pees in our
go
back
over there.
garden and he digs in California.
Yeah, it's like if a human were to do it, they'd go to the bathroom and then they get toilet paper and wipe over there. It doesn't make any sense.
Damn, how does the dog have toilet paper? The rest of us are searching.
I don't know.
How are your supplies?
Well, I gave it to her in the beginning.
Have you got good supplies?
I do. I have an assortment of cold cuts. I have a lot of cheese and meats. I have some crackers. What else do I have?
You
I have
basically got
some
sandwiches.
pillows.
That's what you have.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
got extra pillows just in case. And I can make sandwiches all the time. That's a lot of fun. And a lot of tanning lotion. I bought a lot of tanning lotion. For some reason, I thought I'd be out of that. I don't know why, but I just want to get a lot of tanning lotion. So I have plenty of tanning lotion. And
You would be right on path with the showgirl, because when everyone's like, "Oh, we got to make sure we have certain essentials," tanning lotion was one of mine.
You've got the self tanning stuff.
Yeah,
don't you,
I do
Jade?
self tanners.
Really?
I do self tanners and bronzers.
Yeah, it's like.
so, you
paint.
put on the self tanning lotion. That's good. You don't go to a place where you get sprayed.
No. She gives me a roller now.
Yeah.
And I just roll it on, and she turns around, and I do the other side. I once made the mistake. I thought tanning oil and tanning lotion were the same thing, and we went to Mexico, and I basically greased myself up like a chicken, and sat outside for a day, and I was horribly burnt for the rest of the 2 weeks.
Oh my God, that's a terrifying story.
Well, thank you, Chris. I just want to give some good medical advice today, after the questionable medical advice we've been receiving recently.
Do you wear that outfit when you go out for tanning? So you just get the face burnt in the hands, and that's it.
That's it.
He lives in that.
Just my hands and my face, and everything else is totally fine. This is the most comfortable thing I own, Chris. It has 27 pockets. It has been sculpted around my lovely figure for over years and refined. So I'm
not tailored,
in this
but
to my own
sculpted.
skin.
Right. Well, it looks beautiful on you. I have to say, it's never not looked beautiful.
Now
it's always a winner.
You know that denim jumpsuit you wore when you were with J-Lo?
I do remember that outfit. Yes, it was very snug.
How was that?
It was nice. It was a good tight fit. Yet it was breathable.
Right. So do you find yourself yearning for that on a daily basis?
Yes, I do wish I was wearing it now, because it felt so good.
Yeah, exactly. So that's how I feel every day. But I get to wear my denim jumpsuit daily. Right.
That is good. But you don't see. You must have other dragon outfits, right? Is this the only one?
Dragon skins, please, Chris. Let's.
I'm sorry, dragon skins.
I'm like a snake. I shed them when I need to dry clean them, and then I just have another one. So yeah, I got how many have I got? 4
Quite
at the
bit,
moment.
But that dry cleaning line is not true and correct.
That's true. Jade now is tasked in this quarantine period.
Tasked with having to clean the skins.
Yeah.
And you can take that in any way you want.
Right.
Yeah. Jade does a lot of good dragon cleaning skin.
Woo!
Dragon cleaning. Now, Chris. Yeah. You on Saturday Night Live for 7 years. Is that right?
Yeah, about 7.5 years, I'd say. Yes.
7.5.
I was there for 7.5
years. That is just
something like that. Yeah.
That is unbelievable.
Oh,
now,
I was so obsessed with him.
Yeah.
Were you?
Jade was very excited to meet
way
you
before we
in
even
Chicago.
met you or anything. He knows how obsessed I was, and especially Mango. All I've ever wanted to do was dance with Mango.
Yeah.
That's so nice.
I get Mango on an almost daily basis with Jade, especially as J-Lo is her idol and hero. So the fact that you've been near J-Lo.
Yeah, the fact that you got to rub your ass on her head.
Oh, you really took her down.
You have no idea.
Yes.
That diva fight with you and J-Lo.
So
my God.
It was so good.
I did. We got to swat each other's behinds as well, which was a lot of fun.
Yes.
But you went full one-on-one with J-Lo.
She's Puerto Rican. He had to go in.
Right.
Yeah.
Did she do some damage, or did you get the upper hand?
Mango.
I got the upper hand, I think. I started first, so I had the upper hand, I believe.
Mango always gets the upper hand.
Is that your advice? If I'm ever called to wrestle with a celebrity, the advice is always start first.
Always start first when you're wrestling, especially if it's J-Lo. Or anyone, for that matter, really. You just want to start. Yeah, you want to be the first one in there. That's a good advice.
Yeah, I mean, when you were doing Mr. Peepers with Tom Hanks, you launched yourself at him.
I did. I did, and I swung upside down on him with my legs. He was a real trooper. He was really very cool for doing that. You wouldn't think someone like Tom Hanks was going to be okay being spit on and dry humped in the face. But Tom Hanks is a terrific person to do that with.
He took it like a man.
He did.
Have you ever felt like, oh no, I'm crossing the line here?
I think, where did I cross the line? Maybe with Charlize Theron. I did the Mr. Peepers with her, and she went a little. She's an excellent actress, as you know, and she kind of broke character or really involved herself in the sketch, and she started dry humping me, and she got so involved that she grabbed my hair and and pulled it off, like she pulled my wig off, and because she was so involved in the sketch. So that was a little. I think she crossed the line, which was good.
She crossed the line.
Well, it was a little bit of animal magnetism. I mean,
this was a
like,
yes.
They
took it off air, didn't they? I was reading about this in your book. They took this off air.
Yeah, they cut it out. They cut like out of the sketch quick. It was weird because usually they don't do that, and they actually just they noticed it was getting a little out of control, and they just cut out of it. It was kind of strange.
What was that like? Because you're there and you go full 100% commitment to these bits, and suddenly Charlize Theron is is outdoing you in dry humping. And you're live. So what do you do at that point? You're just like, okay, I guess I'm just getting humped by Charlize Theron now.
Yeah, pretty much. And I say to myself, well, in the future, maybe if I'm going to be interviewed by Piff, then I can bring it up.
Yeah, this is right. If you have an out-of-body experience at the time, you think, I better file this one away.
Yeah, exactly. That's how I feel.
Oh my God! Now before you were at Saturday Night Live, you were at the Groundlings in LA for a long time, and in fact, your dad was one of the founding founders of the Groundlings. So you were growing up around all of this. How did it feel to grow up around? Did you see it and go, oh, this is what I want to do, or was it a gradual?
I know it was pretty immediate. When I first saw my dad up on stage at the Groundlings, I was probably about 6 years old, and I got to see him perform with someone Paul Rubens was there too, and I got to see him create Pee Wee Herman, which was really cool. And to see your dad on stage, and I was like, I just couldn't believe the amount of response, the laughs he got by being on stage. I never realized how funny he was and what a strong performer he was. And it really influenced me, It really made me look up to my dad. But I just couldn't believe the attention that one could get through laughs. And I thought, wow, if I can get people to laugh, that could be really my thing maybe. Because I wasn't, I don't know how it was for you growing up, but you need to find your niche, your thing. And I wasn't a sports guy, and I wasn't like a tall dude. And, there was a lot of things I was insecure about, and that seemed to be my strength that got attention, and it came early on. But when I saw that as a child, that was really it seemed to be my calling.
So when you started thinking, okay, I'm going to make people laugh, did you do that as yourself, or did you go straight into characters?
I would go. I would. It was easier for me to go into characters. I enjoyed that the most. I really liked, watching people like Eddie Murphy and Mike Myers. And I really, I liked being behind that and having an excuse to do whatever you want by wearing a costume and wearing and becoming another character. And channeling in a way that character. I always thought it was a lot more fun, and you can get away with a lot more by being a character than being yourself, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I get
we
away
both
with
understand
murder.
this.
Yeah.
Yes, you do.
Yeah. Let's watch Piff the Magic Dragon make children cry and pay money. Good idea, guys. Now, says Saturday Night Live was a... Oh, wait, I want to ask something about your dad. He was a magician and ventriloquist.
He was, yeah. I don't know how good he was.
Right.
I know he had a dummy that he made talk. I think his lips were probably too big when he was doing the ventriloquism. But he did magic. He made, I think he made a scarf go away once, and I think there was a bird flying somewhere at some point. I don't know if he had anything to do with the bird, but it was flying. And he did some magic. He had a wand, I think. He had one of those wands that you tap and things came out of it, like more scarves. He had a lot of scarves.
Yeah.
And
there's a lot of scarves in magic. It's one of the strangest.
Well, I think in magic, the scarves also help dry up the tears because you realize what you're doing.
No, you can't get them wet.
Right.
They're all silk.
Exactly.
Chris is on my side with this. Oh, not again.
Yeah, those scarves are expensive, Jay.
Yes, they are.
Oh, my God.
That's like those flowers. When you see magicians that make the flowers appear, those things are insane.
Yeah, they're chicken
expensive.
feathers.
They're
like,
insane.
Or they're like some fancy feathers, and they're all like thousands of dollars. And the scarves are like hundreds of dollars. Magic's expensive, and it looks ridiculous.
And that's why you guys cry a lot.
That's why we cry a lot. You're right, Jade.
Well, must be chicken feathers, because chicken feathers today are just so pricey. It's amazing how much they've skyrocketed.
I didn't realize that you had your finger on the pulse of the cost of a chicken feather.
I do almost all the time. I put all my money into chicken feathers, and even though the economy's not doing so well, I'm doing very well with my money in the chicken feathers. It's on a rise right now. It's not even part of the Dow. It's its own separate thing.
It's
gone. Yeah, it's chicken feathers.
I have a great tip for you. I have a great tip for you. If you're into feathers, you're talking to the right person, because right now, duck feathers and ostrich feathers, they're on the rise.
What feathers are they, Jade?
These are duck and ostrich mix. And let me tell you,
Really?
the ostrich is super soft, but the duck is a pain in the ass, literally. Because if you get one of the
Why would you get duck
pieces,
feathers?
Because it's really quacky. I mean, funny.
Is it cheap?
No, they're not cheap. You pay for them. You just don't look at the bills.
Yeah, right.
But they poke you in the ass. The ducks poke you in the ass.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
Why don't you get all ostrich feathers?
Because they are so much more expensive. And I am a caring, loving girlfriend who says, baby, I'm not going to let you spend all that money on the feathers, but now my shoes, these are ostrich that got wet because Piffles was licking one of my feathers, so they need to be replaced.
The dog licked your feathers.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh, God. The things that Jade puts up with.
You have no idea.
I had no idea this interview would be so emotional. There's
It
a lot
is
of
emotional. It is.
Yeah.
We had a crying competition the other day, and I was just about to give
Can you cry on demand?
that perfect tear, and Piff messed it up.
Can you cry on demand, Chris?
I can. If you give me like 17 minutes, maybe an hour, I could do it.
Yeah, all right. I could do it.
Yeah.
I don't think I could do it, actually.
I could do it. I just think about, coincidentally, I think about ducks their feathers being taken off of them.
Yeah.
And I think about the pain they're going through.
I just think about the sweet, sweet financial gains I'm making from duckfeathers.com, which is incidentally where I've invested all my money. Chickens are the past, Chris. Chickens are the past.
All right, let's segue out of the feathers.
It's ducks or nothing. What other feathers do they make
Ducks
those things
or nothing.
out, Jade? Ostriches?
Well, you have ostrich,
Peacock?
you have duck, There's so many
Pigeon.
different, there's pheasant, there's so many different types of feathers.
Sparrow.
But for stage, these are what looks great.
All right.
Yes.
Did you just be with one feather before? I mean, how many feathers? Did you start with a couple feathers, and were they ducks?
Right.
How did it begin for you?
Well, you know, when I was basically thrown into a pool of rhinestones and feathers when I was a child, and it just kind of stuck.
No, but like, did you go? Oh, that I'll get some nice feathers on my head. That look good.
Yeah, I started with one little feather.
And then you were like,
when I was a little girl. Let me tell you how this story started, Piff.
All right,
when I was a little girl, and I would just walk around the neighborhoods, I was always attracted to feathers. You would find a feather
This is not real.
sometimes
Is this real?
on the ground.
This
yes.
is real?
So I would collect feathers when I was a little girl and put them in books.
What kind of feathers?
In order, whatever bird decided to
rodent feathers.
throw a feather on the ground. And I'd put them in books, but I never in a million years thought I would end up like being a showgirl with all these crazy feathers.
Right.
My very first showgirl outfit in a show I was in had what they call it's like a Chanel or something. It's these weird little feathers that I call them bachelorette party feathers because they just go everywhere and they're like
Party City feathers.
Party City, and they're super thin. And then I went in another show and they gave me ostrich. And then another lady said you should mix them with duck because you get bigger look.
Oh,
if
the
you
duck
mix
fluffs
them.
it up. That's why they're like the base
Yeah.
filling. That's why their stock price does so well.
Yes.
Okay, you got any chicken feathers on there?
Not today.
Oh, Chris. I mean, that's not good news, buddy.
No, so you know what I'll do? I'll make a handbag of chicken feathers to support Chris.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would appreciate that.
Yeah, so every time I reach into my handbag, I know that is money well spent.
Yeah.
Yeah, do you like that? See, handbag, reach in, paid for the chicken feathers. Next question. Go ahead, Piff. It's all you, baby.
I get it.
Thank you, Jade. Thank you. Did you?
I'm still trying to work. I'm still trying to try on demand right now. I'm still working on it.
Me too.
So I'm in the
Believe me.
midst of
Inside, not a problem. It's like the tap never runs dry. But when it comes to the
Yeah.
external, it's
Right.
very difficult. There was a magician who had his act was all like neon colors. So he had like a blue suit and like a bright fluorescent pink thing and a yellow thing and all these different, like he used tennis balls and catapults, but he used doves as well. And so he colored all the doves like fluorescent green and fluorescent pink and fluorescent yellow, like actual live doves. So he'd like have a tennis ball and he'd throw it and it would turn into a yellow dove. God, magic's terrible. This is not good.
The magic can be. I live near a place called the Magic Castle. I don't know if you've ever heard of the Magic Castle.
Yeah, we play it
in Los
each
Angeles.
year, one time a year.
Oh, do you? You play that? And in your act, do you disappear, or what happens?
Not
Anything
really.
magical?
I actually have the record for the fastest walkout ever at the Magic Castle. I walked out on stage and I made somebody leave in 15 seconds by shouting. I mean, I immediately started shouting at the guy for his wallet, and he stormed out of there. So, I mean, I really just shout at the very nice people who go there until 45 minutes is over.
Yeah, it's
He
basically.
refused.
Go ahead.
He
baby.
refused to give you his wallet. He didn't want to give you his wallet.
He refused to give me his wallet, which often, I mean, like I've had that quite a lot because people have a lot of things in their wallet that they don't want other people to know. For example, business cards of certain institutions, illicit substances. You find a lot of things that, like Target gift cards. You find a lot of items like that in people's wallets.
Yes, yeah. It's a whole other world. What's going on in wallets today?
What's in your wallet, Chris?
I have pictures of ostriches, and they look miserable.
Yeah, you got sad ostriches that you're just dreaming of buying the feathers of one day when you can offload your poorly performing chicken stock.
That is correct.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was going to do a trick with an ostrich egg, by the way.
Yes, you
Penn
were.
and I, we're going to do Penn Jillette and I, we have a double act called Piff and Pop, where he has his own dragon outfit, which is I don't know, it's like 6'5" or something.
It can be a bit terrifying. It's huge.
Literally 50% more expensive than mine.
Yes.
Like
Right.
the guy who makes it charges me 50% more because Penn is so much bigger. So we were going to do a trick with a big ostrich egg, and an ostrich egg is about 12 inches tall and green. So it looks like a perfect dragon egg.
Wow.
Yeah.
I like that. He's a cool guy. He is a large man or a tall man. He's got a lot of strength.
Now, did you ever cross paths with him on Saturday Night Live?
Not on Saturday Night Live. No, I crossed paths with him a couple times, but not on SNL. No, was he on SNL? Did he host at one point or something?
They didn't host him and Teller. They've done a few spots on Saturday Night Live, but I have to look up when these were because it was the same as like Harry Anderson did a spot on Saturday Night Live, and I'm not sure any other variety. I can't. I don't know. But those are the two guys that I know, so I know that they did it. But
86.
Yeah.
86. Penn and Teller did it.
Oh yes, that was before my time, as I like to say.
Was that
I
when
was
Lorne
there
was still there?
10 years later.
Who?
I'm sorry.
I'm talking to Alex, our diligent internet researcher. Was Lorne Michaels still on
diligent.
it?
Yeah, he stepped out
Lorne
in
Michaels.
the 70s.
Right.
Oh, you're going to defer to Chris. I don't know why I'm talking.
Yeah, why are we talking to you, Alex, when we have Chris,
Yeah, exactly.
who's actually lived on that show for 7.5 years? Do you think Lorne Michaels would ever book a Magic Dragon on Saturday Night Live, Chris?
I think so. If he had nobody else to book, I think
Oh my
that would
God!
happen.
If everyone was dead, if it was only the reptiles that survived, the gravestone of Lorne Michaels would read, "Okay, fine. Coming up, it's Piff the Magic Dragon."
That's okay, though. I would
I'll
have gotten on
take
there
it.
as a high kicking, jump splitting, insane Carol Burnett, little Lucille Ball showgirl if I worked really hard.
Oh my God! Now, was Saturday Night Live for me? When I was starting, there were a couple of shows that were big goals. One of them was a show called La Soirée, which is a circus show. But it's a live show in the UK, and I was like, God, I want to get on that, and I did everything I could to get on that. Was that how it was with Saturday Night for you?
I think so, yeah, for sure. But it didn't. I liked the actually. I wasn't crazy about Saturday Night Live in the early years, but I really started getting into it when Eddie Murphy was on. I actually was more into Monty Python when I was growing up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Monty Python. I love Fawlty Towers. I was a big Fawlty Towers fan, even though that was
a huge Fawlty Towers fan.
Show.
Did you ever see Blackadder?
Yeah. Oh yeah, Blackadder too. Yeah, of course. My girlfriend turned me back onto that. I used to love it. And she's a big fan of it as well.
It's amazing with the English shows. We have like 12. There are only 12 episodes of Fawlty Towers, and then they just all moved on.
I know. There was a rumor like that it didn't go on further because he had a heart attack or something because he was so involved in the character.
Him and Connie Booth wrote it, and they got divorced. Their relationship broke up in it or something. I don't know, but the UK way of writing is that one person just writes all 6 episodes usually, or 2, or however many the team is at the beginning. They do everything. Whereas over here, you have big writers' table, writers' rooms, and maybe somebody oversees it. But it's to come up with even 12 episodes of Fawlty Towers is, you've done enough. And then we'd already done Monty Python and everything else. So oof.
Yeah, I remember the episode, the Basil the Rat one. The one where
it's so good.
Rats,
yeah,
it's amazing.
And it taught
so good.
It taught everybody how to say Basil as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't you
my
say
God.
basil, Jade?
So funny.
Yes, Americans say basil.
No, basil.
I know it's basil, but
Basil.
Americans say basil.
Well, basil is how you guys say it, right?
Basil.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds so much better.
See, Chris, my mother was English and my father was American. So when I have moments of where my head twitches, is because I'm just trying to figure out which language I'm speaking today.
Yes, they're
I
two
see.
very different languages.
Yeah, very too. You've
You
got.
haven't twitched. This is the first time you twitched. I haven't seen you twitch. I don't think I've ever seen you twitch before.
She does
I've
it
only
off
met
camera.
you twice.
Yeah, I do it off camera quite often.
She's a real
that
pro.
way you don't
When
see
that
me
camera
starting
goes
to
away
lose
from
it.
her, she twitches like.
Yeah, and then after our performances, I usually, just go to the side wings, crawl up in a fetal position, and cry into a baby thimble. But other than that, I'm
thimble?
okay.
I didn't know they made thimbles for babies.
Oh, they make little tiny ones.
Really?
Because I have got
They
no
do.
tears left after 5 years.
Oh my God! And that's why you can't cry on demand, Jade. Unlike
I
Chris
was
and I.
so close, you little magic dragon. Take
You were
that.
nowhere near.
Have you ever seen a baby sow? Have you seen a baby sow actually sow clothes?
The pig.
No, a baby. A baby sow. No, not a sow.
Oh.
Baby sow. So clothing.
I've seen them use machines.
Oh.
But
okay.
never.
Oh, like a sewing machine. Okay.
Yes, I've seen often. The way they pump that foot pedal is astonishing. It's like a reflex.
Yeah.
It's like a natural born reflex. They just come out with their foot up and down like this.
Oh my gosh.
They are. It's
right.
incredible.
Yeah. It's terrible what they're doing in those sweatshops, all those babies sewing,
It is. It's so bad.
Well, if you want cheap dragon outfits, that's the price that you have to pay in this day and age.
Yeah.
We haven't all got our money in chicken feathers. All right, Chris? Now, do you remember where you were? Because I always remember there. The only thing I remember is where I was when I got certain news or when I thought of certain ideas. So, like, there was a magic trick that I was trying to figure out the ending for, and then I was in Washington D.C. at a traffic light going to Morning Press, and I thought of an idea. And I was, oh yeah, that'll make the magic trick work. And now whenever I think of Washington, D.C., all I think about is that traffic light and having that idea. Is your life similarly ruined by
traffic lights?
Traffic lights in Washington, D.C.? No. Do you remember where you were at these moments, like when you heard that you got SNL?
I was outside of my dad's house in front of the front. I was right in front of the front door, and that's when I got the call. I remember that. I got a call, and it was actually from Will Ferrell, and he called and he said, "Hey, Lauren wanted me to ask you if you wanted to be on the show." And I was like, "Oh, you mean like as a cast member?" And he was like, "Yeah, like come on the show and be a cast member." And I was like, "Yeah." And then I literally flew out 2 days later, and and I started the next week because it was like 6 weeks before the end of the season, which is usually not where you come into us on the show. A cast member usually starts at the beginning of the season or sometimes mid-season, but this was 6 episodes before the end of the season, which was odd. So Lauren had Will call me because Will and I were pretty much partners on the show, and we did the Roxbury guys and a lot of other characters. But that's where I was. It was in Sherman Oaks, California. If you know where Sherman Oaks is, that's in the valley, and I was in front of my dad's house, so I do remember that very well.
And before you got the phone call, like for me, I've had many periods of up and down. Sometimes things are good, and then it's like, oh no, I'm never going to work again, and then it's fine again. But when those moments come when you're like, oh, thank God, everything's fine again, did you have a huge sense of relief, or were things already going well at that point?
Wait, at what point? Wait, when?
So right before Saturday Night Live, like for
oh,
Piff,
right.
For Piff, right before America's Got Talent.
Disaster.
Disaster. It was. He wasn't even sure he was going. I'm playing Sugar Mama.
Jade was my Sugar Mama. Yeah, it was.
And
the dog. It was the dog eating one night, me eating another.
And the one phone call from America's Got Talent was like, okay, what do you have to do but lose? And he lost beautifully. And that's why he's now, of course, Piff the Magic Dragon, the loser of America's Got Talent. But that show also was that phone call was the moment that America fell in love with a Magic Dragon.
I was like, phew, I'm going to be able to feed me and the dog on the same night, 5 nights a week.
Right. Right, because you usually eat separately. I see.
Yes.
I do remember where I was at when I felt that before I got the phone call. I was actually walking out of the front door in front of my dad's house. So it was literally 5 seconds before I got that phone call that I felt differently. And I felt, I do think I felt, I don't think life was going so well. I think I recently got let go at a job. I was a chauffeur for a 90-year-old woman named Mrs. Kugel, and she was Dutch, and she let me go because I wasn't tall enough, and she felt like she needed to hire someone taller. I don't know why.
How tall are you?
She felt safer for someone taller.
Protection.
How tall are you?
I'm sorry?
Chris? How tall are you?
Oh, I'm about 5'7".
Oh God, I'm 5'5", so I guess I will never work. I always dreamt of working as a chauffeur. Like, I mean, the one thing is, I can't handle the baggage. It's too heavy.
He's such a bad driver, though.
And I'm a bad driver. But I like, and I don't want to talk to anyone, but I like sometimes I get in a car and the driver is like this kind of like silent, stoic type. And I'm like, wow, I'd love to be that guy. I once got picked up at this. I had to go to LA for a TV meeting, which doesn't happen very often. So this driver came to the house and he said, "Good morning, sir." And I said, "Good morning." And then I got in the car and he said, "Is the temperature okay for you, sir?" And I said, "Yes, thank you. It's delightful." And he said, "You're welcome, sir." And then he said, "Would you like a mint, sir?" And I said, "No, thank you." And he said, "Well, I have a full selection of whatever you call it, like condiments or no, not condiments.
Condoms.
No, he had a full selection
condoms.
of...
Yeah,
yes.
no, like I don't know, like what do you call those?
The beverages.
Yeah.
Yes.
Beverages and snacks.
Oh, like that. Oh, I see.
Refreshments. That's exactly the word. He said, "Well, there is a full selection of refreshments next to you," and he said, "Would you like music, sir?" And I said, "No, thank you." And then we drove in silence. It was wonderful the whole way. I got to the airport and I got out, and he said, "Have a good trip, sir." And he said, "May I also just say, I'm quite a fan. I hope today goes well for you." And I was like, "God, I would love to do that. This is my perfect job."
No, it's not.
If I picked you up, Chris, and I said, good morning, sir," and you said, "Oh, what a polite little dragon." And I said, "Oh, there's a full selection of condoms and refreshments next to you," you'd be like, "Oh, wow, what a well-stocked tiny dragon car." And then if at the end I said, "Good luck today, sir. And may I just say, I'm a huge fan of your work, sir." You would be like, "Oh, wow. Well, as long as you didn't have any luggage, I'd be fine."
Right. That's like the third greatest story I've ever heard.
Oh my God! Wow. Welcome to my life, Chris.
Now, was that your chauffeur work, or were you a chatty chauffeur? Were you shooting the breeze with Mrs. whatever her name was?
Mrs. Kugel. No, it was more of a lax job. I got to wear sweats if I wanted to. I didn't have like a cap or anything, and she sat up front with me. She felt that was a lot more fun. So I drove with her. It was a Cadillac car, and I would take her to do things like go to the hairdresser or the hair salon. But it was always odd because she had a wig, so I didn't know why she was going there to the hair salon. But she would. She'd have her wig on, and she'd get it done, and just keep it on her head.
Can you shed any light on this, Jade?
Well, women sometimes like to change their hairstyles.
So if you have a wig, you have to go to a hair salon.
Well, if the wig is not synthetic and it's made with real hair, you do have to treat it as if it's real hair, and you wash it. And you can go to your stylist, and they can color it and cut it and style it, and then they
cut it.
Yes,
it never grows back.
No, listen, they style it to you. So, like, some women might have like 5-7 billion different wigs and different hair extensions, and it's all. So the first time you get a wig, you go and you get it like styled and combed out.
Did she have multiple wigs, Chris?
Did she? No, I think she just had one. And I don't even think she told me it was a wig. She just set her hair. I never saw her without it. Although I did see her without it once because there was an earthquake once in Southern California. It's a big one. And I was going to go check up on her. And I went there, and there were cracks in the sidewalk and in her house. And I went, and she was in the kitchen, and she was standing there with her wig half off, because of the earthquake. So that's the first time I ever saw her in a vulnerable situation.
Oh, God.
They like that story.
Oh, Chris, I'm twitching. I'm not on camera. I'm twitching.
Wasn't there a thing with her poodle?
There was. The dog's name was Rex the poodle.
Yeah.
And it was a big dog. And the dog one time licked some Windex off the glass from outside, like the glass window, and it died. Rex died because of the Windex.
Which was sad because, it's sad because the dog died, but you just saved his life previously, didn't you?
I did. I saved the dog's life previously because the dog would tend to bark at inanimate objects every so often, like in the car, would just like to bark at. I remember one time the dog was barking at a tractor that wasn't moving, and the dog decided to jump out of the car and run up to this tractor and just keep barking at it. And it was in the middle of traffic, and it was in a, what it was. I wasn't a stoplight, but it was just turning green. I jumped out of the car and I grabbed that stupid dog, and not stupid. It was stupid at the time, not before it died. Obviously, I shouldn't say stupid, but I grabbed the dog and I threw the dog, or put the dog back in the car and drove off. And Mrs. Cooper was very impressed by that. She was like, "Oh, wow, you saved Bricks." So that was exciting.
That was like the high point of Mrs. Cooper.
That was my high point. I think it's a high point for Rex as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. I was once working at a circus in Brighton, in England, which is, what's Brighton?
A twee San Francisco.
Yeah, it's like a shitty San Francisco. It's like San Francisco,
with no money in it.
Was left out of the fridge for too long.
Okay.
I was working at this circus, and I was at the box office because I had my own show in the circus. I wasn't
right,
and so I was like saying, "Oh, how many tickets have we sold?" And while they were finding that out, I turned around and I saw my dog run past me, like run through all the circus like area, and then out into the street. And it was like a street with like cars. It was like a busy almost freeway, and it ran. And then my producer was running after the dog at full speed, and the dog ran across the road without any hesitation. Somehow, he must have been in the middle of headlights of these cars. Somehow he survived, got to the other side, and he just waited. And I was just like, oh, God. Oh, God, that dog almost died. Oh, God, the dog almost died. Oh, the dog almost died. Oh, God, that dog almost died. And for like a week, I was like, oh, God, that dog almost died. I couldn't shake it. Were you, when you saved little Rex, were you like, God, what could have happened?
I could have, the dog could have it would probably just keep barking at the tractor, actually. I don't know if it would have died.
Right, you didn't have your full financial future invested in that dog.
Yeah, have I had? Oh yeah, I would have lost some money probably because I'd be blamed for it, and I'd have to pay for the funeral probably.
Dogs' funerals are expensive, Jade, these days.
Oh, they are, especially for large poodles. They're extreme.
Yeah,
and also because funerals, if you really want a nice funeral, you really want to get a lot of duck feathers and ostrich feathers involved.
Yeah, to scatter.
Only, and I would love for...
You get very little ash off a dog, Jade, all right? You know, when you burn those dogs, they're very little... You can't really scatter the ashes. You, like, do one... It's more like a seasoning.
Well, yeah, that's true. But you just go little left paw here.
No, you bulk it out with duck
right
feathers.
Paw here.
And still, not chicken feathers. Once again, they're just not...
Oh, I'm going to do a costume completely of chicken feathers just for Chris.
Oh, he'll be balling.
He will be balling. He'll be
can't wait.
Where'd you get that gold chain from? He'll be like, let me tell you something. I sold chicken feathers, and Miss Jade Simone helped me buy this chain.
Do you have many stocks and shares, Chris?
No, Chris, no.
Do I stocks? I do. I have a lot. Yes, I do. To answer the question, yes.
Oh, you got any good stock tips for us, Chris?
Oh, stock tips. I'm sorry, I didn't know. Yes, I do. I buy when things are going well.
Okay.
That's a good one.
There we go. Yeah. There you go. Buy when things are going well, Jade.
Oh, I do.
What do you buy?
A lot. I'm a girl. I love to shop. I love shop, but I'm not a crazy shopper. It's right before all this happened. I remember, sometimes Piff will pick on me because I like to buy things and have backups. So like I always have tons of toothbrushes or deodorant or this or that and that. And we had tons of toilet paper already. So
I bought that, Jay.
Yeah, you bought the second session of it. It was insane. But as soon as it all happened, I was like, I don't really have to go shopping. He's like, yeah, that's true. So, my little weirdness of having to buy things in bulk and shop, now you're grateful for that instead of why are you spending so much money?
Yeah, Jade buys a lot of. I've got 19 deodorants.
He does, literally. He does. I like to buy them when I find them and then just have them stocked because I actually also, when we're on tour and we're busy doing our shows, the last thing I want when I have 1 or 2 days of, we never really have a full day off because we work 7 nights a week because we're touring on the weekend. But when we
Sure.
get home, if I have 6 hours before I'm doing another show, the last thing I want to do is hang out in Walgreens.
But the thing is,
Right.
Chris did 7.5 years on Saturday night,
I know,
which has an insane schedule, right?
It's insane.
What was your work week like when you were on that show?
Well, you start on Monday and you go and pitch an idea to the guest host in Lauren's office. And then Tuesday, you write the sketches. Tuesday night, you stay up all night usually. Wednesday's the read through. And then Thursday and Friday, you block the sketches down in the studio. The offices are on the 17th floor at Rockefeller Center. And then the studio's in the Studio 8H on the 8th floor. And then on Saturday, you have a run through. Then a dress rehearsal, and then you have the live show, and then Sunday you have off. So it's 6 days a week. But it's a lot of hours. It's very intense, but it's so much fun. Your creative, your brain cells are working. It's just a lot of fun. You're on that high of creativity for a while. If your sketches do get in.
It's amazing. Now, you played so many characters, and you're so good at portraying artists in your way, like you said, you love playing other people as a character. If you had to take 3 characters from all of your years, also maybe out of Saturday Night Live, not necessarily just at that time, because you have so many iconic, beautiful things that you've done,
Thank you.
before, but after, a lot of, if you really felt, like I said, I follow you, but the things that you've done afterwards, what would be your favorite characters, like your top 3 that you just went, yes, I'm connecting this is something I just love? Because some of them, of course, the public goes, oh, I love that, but did you have one that you really loved?
Yeah, I do. There was a character called Mr. Feather in a movie called Undercover Brother that I did with Dave Chappelle, and that was a really fun character. I like doing that. I mean, on SNL, I like doing Mango. I like this character called Azrael Abyss. He was a goth talk character. He's a gothic character.
Mm-hmm.
He would say like, "I'm Azrael Abyss. I'm the Prince of Sorrow," and that was a lot of. I like doing that character a lot. Mostly every character I did, I really enjoyed doing. But I think those are probably my favorite 3. I think that's off the top of my head.
Now, I do have another question for you. I, of course, loved some of the movies you've been in, but a thing that I love the most is when you appeared at the Super Bowl.
Oh,
And,
yes.
I mean, how intense and how crazy was that? I know you're not like, you said, oh, I really wasn't into sports or anything when, growing up. But I mean, just give us a little bit of how insane was that? And at that time, everyone, what is love? And with the whole side head. And I mean, was it just,
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine. I mean, what was the feeling with that?
Well, it was great. It was a big commercial. It was a Diet Pepsi commercial. And, it was like Missy Elliott was in it and LL
Yes.
Cool J. And there's a lot of money involved when it comes to ads for the Super Bowl. So it was really cool to be part of that, to do an actual Pepsi commercial was really cool.
Oh, it was iconic, and it's great. Those Pepsi
Yeah.
commercials.
Yeah, those things are like, and these characters that you've created, they now like they live on forever. Mango and Mr. Peepers and Super Bowl all of this stuff. How does it feel to create something that has so much resonance?
It feels really great. I think it's nice to have a variety of things that people really enjoy, and like on Instagram, like my Instagram is Chris Kattan official, and people will go on and say a variety of things. They don't just say one thing usually, like, oh, I just like the Roxbury guys, or they'll talk about a lot of things I'm doing currently, and like and talk about the book I wrote called Baby Don't Hurt Me, and they'll just mention a lot of things. And also if like I do a video of me or doing something funny or some sketch,
Prince.
they'll they'll respond to that. So there's like a lot of neat things that they say, a lot of nice things.
You also tour in the clubs now when people come out to see shows, which they're not doing right now. But do you enjoy doing the live shows?
I do very much. I love interacting with the audience members. It gives me a lot of energy, and I really enjoy it. It's really it's quite the rush. I'm sure you have that same feeling because you work with audience people
I love it
all the time,
I love
right?
the Thursday night show. I love the early Friday show. I hate the late Friday show. I love the early Saturday show. It's the Friday night late shows. I'm like, oh God, I can't.
Well, it's a mixed bag.
It's a bloodbath.
It is, because everybody's been working, all day. And when right after America's Got Talent, we toured quite a few of the comedy clubs and, now theaters and things like that. And it was very interesting to bring this in, Piff's comedy, his style of comedy, and then, my style of crazy showgirl and comedy into these comedy clubs. And then on a Friday night, you've got people that've worked all day, as Piff would tell me. He's like, look, they've worked all day. They started drinking as soon as they got off work. They waited for the last show. They've had dinner. Then they've had their cocktails. They're not sure if they want to be awake or if they want to go to bed. Yeah, so it was a bit crazy. And
you have those kind of shows, Chris?
I do. Yeah, I think it's pretty well known that to say that it's safe to say that the Friday late shows are usually not the best shows. Like you said, it's a mixed bag, and those are really the reasons. But I don't know. I in my experience, for some reason, it's been okay. I never really saw a difference between many of the other shows. For me, it's actually very similar. They are a little bit more rowdy and ruckus, and there's more alcohol involved. But other than that, I've had good experiences with the Friday late show usually.
Yeah, I mean, no, they're not. I mean, sometimes you would struggle. I usually was okay based on the fact they were drunk and they just thought they saw 3 or 4 of me and it was a party.
Yeah, I was the one. I was the one trying to get them to remember, to choose a card and remember it.
I would feel so bad for people on those shows.
I actually secretly love it.
You do.
Yeah.
You do.
I secretly like if I I just don't like having to do it.
Yes, but you love improv, and you love. I mean, he just loves improv, and he's so fast. And there's moments where I would be on stage going, "What?" And I literally was already behind because he was so quick at it. But I think the Friday night late shows for you, Piff, was really
training ground.
Oh, it was training.
My dojo.
It was like he was going into battle.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, but the thing is with training is that sometimes you go, oh, I can't do that yet. And so that was a bit what it was like on Friday nights.
Well, Chris, I know we're like, we could keep you on here
one
for
last question.
Hours, please.
One last question, Chris. Do you have a most memorable experience with like one of the guest hosts?
I think, I guess I already said the Charlize Theron one, which was interesting, but I guess doing the Roxbury guys with Jim Carrey was a highlight.
Yeah.
I think that was really cool. When Will, Jim, and I did the head bobbing together, and that sketch was really iconic, I think. And there's something about the energy of doing that sketch, when we did it live, that was just so phenomenal. It was really quite the rush, just running from set to set with the song playing and the audience getting into it. And it was really cool. It was live, and it was really amazing. And then Monday we did, on Monday we all the feedback we got, was pretty tremendous. So I think that was one of the most memorable moments that I've had, on the show, with the guest host.
Well, I mean, that was memorable then, but you've got so much you've been doing, and of course, you have so many of those memorable moments. And right now, you're probably in the process. I know you're in quarantine. I've decided not to call it quarantine anymore. I've decided to call it house arrest. It just sounds sexier.
House of rest.
Yes.
Sure.
Oh my God.
Very sexy.
It sounds sexier.
I'd love to be in the house of rest, but I'm in the garage of TV studio.
I hear you. But what are you working on now, or what's give us a little tease. You don't have to tell us everything.
What's coming up next,
Chris? I know you're touring, but that way it just kind of goes, yes,
Well, I can't say completely, but I'm writing a script right now, and also working on a game show idea, and another show that takes place in London, actually. So we'll see. Those are the 3 projects
Good
that I'm working
for
on
you.
currently.
Do any of them need a chauffeur? Because
No, he just needs
They will
chicken feathers.
yeah, I'm going to need refreshments, a lot of refreshments, actually.
Well, Piff is an amazing chauffeur, and I'm an amazing chicken feather, duck feather, ostrich,
Yeah.
high
You've got
kicking,
no chicken
jump
feathers on you,
splitting,
Jade.
crazy, insane showgirl. But no, that's amazing, and looking forward to anything and everything you do in your tours. Of course, always in the comedy clubs.
yeah, we'll probably see you on the road again,
We
Chris.
would love to see you on the road. We would love it. And I
That would
have
be
to
great. I
say,
would love that.
I have to give big kudos to that cute girlfriend of yours. She's so cute.
Oh,
Jade's
yeah,
been
thank
Instagram
you. Her
stalking
name
you.
is, her name's Cheyenne, and you could look her up on Instagram if you like. It's at Cheyenne Gordon.
Well, you
Right.
guys are an amazing couple, and
I'm sorry, it's at Shy Gordon, Chey Gordon. Yeah.
Oh,
So
Shy Gordon.
we've been
Yes.
together for like 7 months now, I think. Yeah, it's
Yay.
really a wonderful. Yeah, it's pretty amazing. We're very much in love.
She's a
And
beautiful.
we're enjoying
You
each
can
other.
tell that you guys are having a lot of fun. She's very, very beautiful.
Jade has been stalking the
No,
shit
I
out of
love
you
Chris,
for the last. This
and
is
I loved
unbelievable.
your prints in the park.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, she filmed that. That was her idea.
Well,
There
good
were
for her.
purple
Yay,
drains
girl
there.
power.
Yeah. Yeah, girl power. She's a pretty phenomenal woman. Yeah, she's great.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
great. It's great to see you, Chris. We'll see you out on the road. Go see Chris
All right,
Kattan
guys.
when shows exist again. In the meantime, Chris has got a great book called Baby Don't Hurt Me, which I've been reading this week. And I'm going to go and watch Undercover Brothers tonight.
You need to.
Have you seen this?
There you go.
Too.
I'm gonna watch it tonight. All right. Thanks, Chris.
You like it. All right, you guys.
Thank
Take care. Lots of love.
You're
See you
amazing.
soon.
Be safe. You're amazing, too.
Really in because I couldn't hear.
All right. Coming up on PiffTV this week, lots of new stuff. I'm gonna spend the weekend editing all this stuff that we've done the last couple of weeks, Jade. And
You're going to be busy.
yeah, I know.
Yeah. You mean you're finally giving Alex a break?
No, Alex is gonna help me.
Okay, because I was going to say, you've been working
No,
him
this is-
literally like a dog. And look, Piffles is disappeared.
Yeah, Piffles
Yeah,
is gone.
he finally gave up.
Jade is gonna launch her own TV show next week.
Well, I
Called
hadn't
Jade O'Clock?
agreed. I hadn't agreed to that. It was quite funny how you just pretty much announced it.
Yeah.
And then Lindsay,
Yeah. She ran a poll.
she ran a poll, and polls freak me out. I don't like polls.
Well,
And I text her immediately, and
bad, Jade.
polls freak me out because,
No.
you know, it's social media. People either love you, they hate you, or
Yeah.
they just want to pick on you to pick on you.
the only thing you can hope is that more people like you than dislike
Well,
you.
I wouldn't look at it. I saw
Oh,
there
I
was a
looked
poll,
at it.
and I didn't
They all
look
want
at
you
it.
to do a TV show.
You're so full of crap.
So
but okay.
I looked at it. The numbers are in. Jade's gonna launch her own TV show on Monday.
I know, and I'm so excited for my little character that does jump splits for everyone to see. It's so good.
What character?
You know, my little dancing character.
Oh yeah, what happened to those?
Yes, I
gotta-
have those.
I
my
gotta
little
get them
dancing
going again.
character. Anyway, it's been a crazy week, and you and Alex have a ton of work.
It's been,
And-
I'm tired. Are you tired, Alex?
Oh, I've been super grumpy this week.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we love doing it though.
Duck, you sound you sound like a hostage.
Yeah, I mean, essentially, I'm in a locked room. What else?
You
would I
sound
do?
like you have a gun. Somebody has a gun to your head. Oh yeah, I love doing it though.
Yeah, but you want to know the kind like he's been busy working. You know the kind of week it's been. I literally have been hiding on the other side of the house, and it's not that I didn't want to hang out around you or Alex. I just personally knew I was a little grumpy, so I decided to kind of sequester myself away from you. So, you know.
You were grumpy.
Yeah, I was feeling a little out of it and tired and a little
Oh.
just kind of needed some quiet girl time in my head. So, out of respect to you and Alex, which both of y'all then thought I was mad at y'all, but I wasn't.
We definitely thought you were mad at us.
No, I just needed some quiet time. I
Okay.
played with my makeup. I did things like that. Like, yeah.
I'm very glad I get to go home at the end of each of these days. Jade doesn't get that benefit.
No, that's why So, Alex, I use you.
Right.
I actually use Alex, and he doesn't. I think he probably does realize it, but I still his dog and Tui, because Piffles is usually busy with you guys, and I go into the bedroom and I shut the door and I go, Piff will be fine because Alex is here. I do that. I really do.
Basically, I take the day shift and you take the evening shift.
That's pretty much what it is.
This is unbelievable.
It's pretty much what it is.
This is. I mean, I'm here with nothing but an open heart, trying to chivvy the world on.
Chivvy?
Yeah.
Yeah, what is chivvy?
It's like when you chivvy somebody on. You encourage them.
No, it's been a lot of fun, but, let's all be honest.
No, it's a nightmare. It's a nightmare.
It's
a waking nightmare.
It's a lot of work. And, every dog that's in the house is a boy.
Yeah, so they're peeing
you
everywhere.
And Alex are boys.
Yeah,
and
we're
to
also
all
peeing
of my
everywhere.
girl fans out there.
Who are peeing everywhere.
I just need a little quiet estrogen time sometimes. And that's not bad.
You can get estrogen from urine, Jade.
Oh, my God.
Alex, what are we getting for dinner?
I got you whatever you had last time from Protein House.
No.
That's why I told...
Why was it not good?
Oh, my God.
What was wrong with it?
No, it'll be fine.
It was literally what you ordered last time.
Well,
See, he's not... I don't have to cook today, which is quite sweet.
Your instruction was order me anything vegan.
That's true.
yeah, well, somehow you
chose
failed.
this vegan lifestyle. You chose it.
I agree. It's just, I'm definitely at the... I'm at one of the plateaus of it. I'm like...
You're getting bored of the same 5 items.
Well, yeah, exactly. I need to, do some vegan
no
cooking. And when I say I, Jade does. Because I'm not allowed in the kitchen.
I'll cook this weekend.
All right. If you're listening to this on the on podcast land, on the Apple podcast, however
such
these
a
go out.
Friday.
It's all going so well.
Oh, my God. We're, all out
How do you
of
think
it.
that went?
With Chris?
Yeah.
Oh, my
I thought it was
God.
great.
I still want to dance with him. I should have gotten up and danced, but I was afraid it would be too, weird.
His Wi-Fi connection wasn't strong enough.
Well, it changed partway through because he suddenly got much clearer.
Yeah.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, I don't know what
Well,
happened.
maybe
I was
I'll
very
get to
nervous.
dance with Mango one day.
I was interviewing a big Saturday Night Live star.
This was, and you know what? He is so nice. He's so nice.
He's very nice.
He was the minute
Well, he was great. I don't think we need to judge Chris's performance on that. I was talking about how well I did.
You actually were
great.
nice.
What?
You did great. You had
Yeah,
good
you did
questions.
great.
Alex said I was great. You said I was
Thoughtful
nice.
Well, no, if you want to judge the whole thing, yes, you were great, and you were nice. You were.
Alex is saying it because he knows he can leave.
Yes, but you weren't as grumpy as a grumpy magic dragon usually is.
Do you think I could make it as a insightful interviewer? Jade, tell us where
I
got
thought
your
you were
chicken
talking to
feathers from.
Alex.
No,
I was just letting that question hang in the air. I was about to play the outro.
No, I think you can. You can.
I'm
But
here learning how to do a TV show.
yes, we're all learning, and I really think you could be a great interviewer. You need to look into their eyes. You need to listen. Not only just listen, but you have to hear, and and let them have the fun. Let them have fun, and do their thing, and then you pitch it. You'll be there. It takes a while. No, you're actually a great interviewer. I'm giving you a little crap
don't.
right now.
Okay.
No, you really are. You really are.
Thank
you do
you,
a great
Jade.
job. I'm just giving you crap.
Yeah. Well, get better every day, don't we?
Yes, we do. And
All right.
yeah.
Is our food here yet, Alex?
Oh, it's been here ages.
You're kidding?
No.
All right. Why are we still doing this?
because
don't
it's
know.
sitting outside the door now.
All right. Let's get you food.
Okay, bye.